There are many different mods in Minecraft. Some of them add worlds, others increase FPS, varieties, and a large number. And there are mods that make Minecraft a horror game. This is quite popular lately. I think you've seen a walkthrough with such mods. And there are those mods that you can't download at all. Maybe they won't hack your computer, but maybe they'll drive you crazy. There is a channel on YouTube called Alfred Clark, who downloaded a very strange mod from the internet and started testing it. I'll spoil it for you a little. He regretted downloading it. Before starting this video, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. This is very important to me. We are moving towards the goal of 10,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. Don't forget to put your like, and in the comments you can write your theories about everything you see next. And we'll move on to the analysis. The first video on this channel is called Installing the New Osiris Structure Mod. There, Alfie installs a mod he found on the internet in the usual way. He drops it into the mods folder and enters the game. Then he creates a world called Testing Mod and loads it. Everything starts with a normal survival. The player breaks a tree, crafts a workbench, and starts creating tools. After all this, he sees a house and heads towards it. Along the way, he kills animals, as a result of which he begins to rob the wheat fields located near the house. Finally, he comes closer. There is no need to be surprised where this house came from, everyone understands, because he installed a mod for structures. Alfie does not have a microphone, so he writes all the information in the chat. This time he writes that this is a house from the modern. After that, he begins to examine the chests and take all the most necessary things from this house. In one of the chests, on the second floor, he finds a book. Opening it, we see notes that say, "Save us," and these inscriptions are on almost every page. Only at one point there is another inscription, "Do not save us, but save me." And at the end, everything becomes creepy. We see the text, "Kill us, stop our suffering, save us from pain." Apparently frightened, the player returns the book back to the chest and begins to leave this house. Realizing that it is still dark outside, he returns, puts up a bed, and goes to bed. Leaving the house in the morning, he continues his exploration. He looks around and sees a fire in the distance, after which he runs towards it. He uses the fire, roasts meat, and also takes all the items from this camp. He crafts more improved things, fights with bees, and decides to stay in this camp. Then the inscription appears. "I went AFK for 5 minutes. I came back, but then the game crashes." The recording stops at this point. At the moment of the crash in the chat, we could see an error, connection timeout, and glass impossible to get the Osiris Angel project. I will not say what kind of angels these are yet, then you will understand everything. In the description of this video, it is written, "The PC turned off after this strange message appeared in the chat." And the strange crash is not the only thing that happened in this video. At the moment when the player found the hut, we see that the structure of the angel appears on the mountain. This structure, it seems, was to blame for the fact that the game crashed. Moreover, not only the game, but the entire computer turned off after this inscription. The angel that appeared in the mod turned off the computer. This sounds very interesting, so we move on to the second video, because testing continues. It is called Testing the Osiris 2 mod. Alfie begins. In the recording, he opens the already loaded Minecraft after the crash and goes back into the world. Alfie appears in the same hut and continues the game as if nothing had happened. He climbs one of the mountains, and here we can clearly see that the angel has simply evaporated. Alfie continues killing animals and then finds another house and runs towards it to inspect it. In the chest, he finds a fishing rod and fish and takes everything for himself. Then he starts fishing on the ground. Yes, Alfie is a strange guy. Although I made this conclusion a long time ago when I saw the Jenny mod on his desktop, who understood. Nothing interesting happens in the future, he just survives, but still at some point he finds a place where he can fish with the help of this found fishing rod. After excellent fishing and caught fish, he begins to dig up coal, and a red inscription appears in the chat, "The Angel of Osiris project is activated." Alfie is surprised and writes in the chat that scared Alfie leaves the mine and climbs higher, after which he finds an angel structure in the mountains. Scared, Alfie goes to look at this structure closer. Yes, Alfie has problems on the way, but this is not so important. What is important is that the message, Angels of Osiris are disabled appears in the chat. The stone angel structure itself simply disappears. Alfie climbs higher to look around, but they find nothing except 2 goats. This is where the second video ends. The description of this video says, "I do not know what this big structure was. I think it was because of the mod, and the first failure occurred because it could not generate, or at least this is my theory." I think that Alfia is wrong here, because we saw that this structure was generated in the first video without any inscriptions in the chat and errors. But what is happening and why, we can't figure out yet, so we move on to the third video. It's called "Where Did the Angel Structure Go?" This is a direct continuation of the previous video, and Alfia goes down the mountain where the angel used to be, and goes to the house he recently found. Alfie locks the door and takes the overcooked meat, then lies down on the bed and sleeps. For some reason, he spams the letter A in the chat, but most likely he just accidentally clicked on it. Morning comes, and Alfie goes to further exploration. Alfie goes into the mine and finds a strange structure. He goes towards it, and meanwhile, the inscription appears in the chat. The Osiris Angel Project is activated. Alfie comes closer to this structure, and we realize that this is an ordinary railway with a minecart at the end. Nothing unusual happens except for the melody in the background. Some angelic hints. I think you got it. Meanwhile, Alfie finally gets to the angel structure. Using a bucket of water, he climbs higher on it. He wants to climb on the head of this stone angel. But while he is climbing up, a message appears in the chat, connecting the Osiris Angel Project. C045, George Taylor, successful connection. But after it seems a successful connection, the angel evaporates. Alfie is asked in the chat, "Who is George?" This is where the third video ends. Who is George? For now, we can assume that this is the name of this angelic structure, and it also produced the song that we heard. Alfie, like us, was surprised by the name George Taylor and wondered who he was. This is the name of the fourth video. Who is George Taylor? At the beginning of the video, Alfie starts checking his computer for viruses, and his suspicions that his computer may have been hacked are closed. The check is successful, and the computer does not find any viruses. Apparently, all these oddities are related to the mod, or the computer simply did not notice the hack. At least Alfie calms down and continues his testing. He enters Minecraft and returns to his world. Alfie writes in the chat, "I don't know who George is," after which he goes on to the usual Minecraft walkthrough, and study this mod. For about 2 minutes, nothing unusual happens at all, but then the familiar inscription about the angel appears in the chat. Alfie immediately begins to look around. Having climbed higher, he still finds that very angelic structure and goes to it. In the same way as last time, with the help of water, he tries to climb higher. The same music is still playing in the background. Having climbed in, Alfia examines the angel's head and then notices some strange inscription about the successful launch of George Taylor's structure, and we already saw this inscription last time. Just like last time, the structure turns off, Alfia falls and dies. This is where the video ends. Alfie simply leaves the world. It seems that this is the real George Taylor structure, and for some reason when Alfie gets to it, it immediately disappears. Perhaps it is hiding something. The next video from Alfie is called, "How do they know my location and my data?" At the beginning of the video, Alfie goes into Minecraft, into the mods folder, and opens the same Osiris mod using the archive. He unzips it to get access to what's inside. There was some kind of picture. It's a picture of the house where Alfie lived. Alfie opens a folder called Osiris. There are 2 more folders, Alfie Clark and Osiris Inspector. First, he opens Sirius Inspector. There is another folder called Victor Lavoie CR. Also in this folder was found the ID of this Victor. He is the project's security inspector. His photo was also attached. Here it is on your screen. The text document that was in this folder contains complete information about him. His function is to inspect experimental guinea pigs. His position, as we already know, is the project's security inspector. Date of birth is August 19, 1997. After seeing this, Alfie leaves this folder and goes into another folder called Alfie Clark. And then something terrible happens. After all, here is all the information about the owner of this channel, about who is filming this video, photos of his house, face, and location. In the text document, all the information about him from his name to his date of birth. Also, Alfie has been assigned the status of under investigation. From the Osiris project folder, he goes to the regular Osiris folder where he finds the logo of this company. Then he goes to the Osiris project folder where he finds a photo of that very error in the chat about George Taylor, well, and his photo. Now we go to a folder called Osiris Personal. Here is another ID of another person named Helena Curie. Her job title is setting up and supporting Osiris. In the text document, we see all the same information as well as her achievements. This woman has a PhD in cognitive neuroengineering. She also has a master's degree in artificial intelligence and machine learning and a bachelor's degree in neurobiology. The next dossier is Orion Kepleron, head of research and security. From the text document, we understand that he is the creator of an operating system for intercepting and reconstructing the individual subconscious. Now Alfie goes to a folder called Osiris Subject, where they find a large number of dossiers. We understand that these people are the test subjects of the Osiris project, and all of these test subjects died. It seems that Alfie is shocked by the information he received, and he ends the entry there. In the description, we can see a link that is encrypted by Caesar. Having deciphered it, we find 3 photos, just photos of angels. I think you are shocked by what downloading a mod leads to, an unknown mod from the internet, but the story continues. We have 2 videos left, and then you will understand what the point is. Alfie enters Minecraft in the same world of testing the mod. A message about the appearance of 4 angels immediately appears in the chat. Alfie goes looking for them and finally finds them, after which he moves towards them. Having arrived, he begins to examine the area around, but then at some point a strange thing happens. The angel approaches him and then suddenly evaporates right before his eyes. In the end, the angel covers Alpha, and a message appears in the chat about a successful connection to Alpha itself. The last video on Alpha's channel looks like this. On the left, we see Alfie's dossier, the same dossiers as in the text documents we recently studied. Also, Alfie's status is dead. In the description of this video, we can also notice an encrypted link. By opening it, we gain access to classified information. Now I will read it in full. Secret Project Osiris. We began studying Subject 0102 on December 25, 2024. Our intention is to encase him in a statue. Unfortunately, all other subjects died, but we made some adjustments to avoid this. The staff of the Osiris project, short for the operating system for the interception and reconstruction of individual subconsciousness, have been working tirelessly to improve this process. When installing the mod, one of the methods for obtaining the consciousness of samples is enabled in the game, allowing them to be analyzed and experimented on in a controlled environment. With this method, we aim to better understand the effects of consciousness digitization and its potential application in future experiments. Now let's put this whole story together so you understand what happened. Alfie downloaded a mod from the internet, an unknown mod. It is not clear where he got it from, but the key here is that he somehow found it and was able to install it, and the mod was working. Alfie began testing, and in this testing he noticed strange structures, and mainly strange structures of angels that appeared and disappeared. Moreover, from the very beginning we saw a book in which it was written, "Save us or kill us, save us from suffering." Most likely, these are people who were imprisoned in statues, although they are considered dead, but it seems that their consciousness was successfully transferred to the statue and they are kind of alive, but in the digital world. Then the testing, one can say, ends in Osiris. The Osiris project begins to test Alfie himself. We learn that Osiris is a small project of several scientists who are trying to digitize the human mind with the help of a mod. I don't know why, but Alf was too inquisitive and didn't stop at some point. When he learned all the information, apparently he didn't believe it. He could have simply deleted Minecraft or completely turned off his computer. But still, he went into this world for the last time and it was digitized, loaded into this statue, and died in real life. So you can say, don't download mods from unknown sites, otherwise this might happen. Moreover, as I understood, several of the angels protected Alf. They scared him away or tried to close him off from being connected to another angel. But as I said before, Alf was too inquisitive. If you have any theories or comments about this story, you can write them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, put your like. If you want more such cool stories from Minecraft, then write about it in the comments and I will find something even more interesting. Thank you all for watching, and bye-bye.